Hey, yo, let's go. Yo, it is the week of that Smoke Mare show. I'm Mike Rennie. With me, as always, the lovely Mary. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm quite tired this week, but it's a week full of horses. I went horseback riding yesterday out in Connecticut, which was a lot of fun.
We,
The horses were going through water. Like the depth of the water was probably like a foot to a foot and a half.
oh,
My boyfriend and I saw this giant wad of water to go through, and he just looked back at me like, what are the horses going to do? And they just kind of trudged through them, and it was great. And
that's so
they
cool.
really splashed through. But tomorrow, well, when this airs, and the following day, I'll be at Keeneland. So it's a week of horse racing and horses.
That's what we like to hear. All about it. Look at Mary on her off time riding horses. I need to get myself on. I told Mary I'm going to get a little footage. It's maybe been 17 years since I've been on the back of a horse, folks. It could be some good film, I bet. So I'll have to get that. That's so cool to experience. I've never been on a horse in water like that. That's pretty deep.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, and I wasn't expecting it. But it was really, really cool, this place in Connecticut, because they rescue a lot of horses from tail pens. And when you're going through the trail, you go through kind of pasture, whatever type of things you want to call it, and there's all these horses there just kind of hanging out and grazing or whatever they want to do, and you just kind of ride through it, and it was super cool.
That is awesome. Mary getting after it. Love to hear it. We love horses. Everything horses here. That's what we do. We got a great show dialed up today. Also, we welcome CJ Johnsen with CJ's Thoroughbreds. You've seen him on the Twitter. He's all over the place. I call him kind of the people's champ of Twitter for the horse world, for the owners. He's kind of does the tweener land, does with the big people and the little people. That's why we like CJ Johnsen.
CJ
pretty good
is
interview.
So funny. He's so funny, and I met him this summer in Saratoga, and he's a good sport. I feel like he does so much, and he sacrifices so much, and he's just a good sport. And we talked about the basketball game that he played in over at Saratoga.
He's great for the game.
Definitely.
That's for sure. And, we got Breeders' Cup coming in hot. We're staying at Keeneland, finishing up the meet here. We're hopping to a grade 2 race they're running there, Keeneland. We're going to go to it. It's the Raven Run. It's 7 furlongs for 3-year-olds. And I'll kick it off here. It's a difficult field of 9 horses, and I struggle with that 7 furlongs. Is it a sprint horse? Is it a mile? Or, 7 furlongs is just an odd distance to me. Are they wired off the pace for that nature and stuff? I think it's just a tough distance and a tough field. And the speed of the field I'm going to go with is the 2. I don't think this horse will win, but the 2 horses going to go. Smash Ticket. And I'm going to go with Wicked Halo, the 8 horse, to win 4 in a row. Asmussen again. Tyler to get it done. Sit off the pace and come flying home and get that 4th win in a row there. The 1 horse raced against Wicked Halo last time, had a little trouble, as Johnny V on. So watch the 1 horse, Union Lake, also, who raced against Wicked Halo. But I think Wicked Halo is going to be too much for him for this race here. Mary, how you feeling?
I agree. I was looking at the field and I said Wicked Halo is probably the horse to beat. We're on the same horse yet again, and we have a pretty good track record when we're on the same horse. So I would take our bet and place a substantial bet in it.
Yeah, no, we are actually undefeated. The 1 loss came off a scratch, so I don't really count that. It was my second. But when me and Mary picked the first horse, undefeated, and we don't talk about it before we kind of chime in right together. So let's get that 8 horse Wicked Halo. I'll be interested on the price. Might be low. Horse is pretty talented if you followed it. So we'll see on the price of it, though. But it will be cool. Cool race for sure. That 7 furlongs is always fun. So, it's going to be a great weekend of racing at Keeneland. And Should be good weather. I'm thinking it's going to hold on. It's going to be, get that fall, crisp, nice, clear weather, beautiful Keeneland racing. So have some safe trips for everyone there. And then let's hop right into this, keeping it compact this week. We got a sweet interview right here. Let's get that dialed up. We welcome CJ Johnsen with CJ Thoroughbred. Let's kick that interview off now. We had fun with that. Could have went for hours like usual with our guests. Always a good time. So welcome, CJ Johnsen. Hey, yo. Hey, we are back with us this week. We got CJ Johnsen with CJ's Thoroughbred. I call him kind of the people's champ of Twitter for the owners and the better side. He's my boy. I love him. Appreciate you coming on, CJ. How rolls it?
Hey, yo, doing good. How are you? Had to throw it in there.
I love it. Yeah, you and the memes and stuff that's popped up always. I love that stuff, man. Always good for keep us entertained. And the Twitterverse was kind of we all kind of met,
Yeah, for sure. Those were it was during the pandemic, and I think we somehow all got lumped in a big group chat and then started firing tickets together. And
yeah.
Man, before the pandemic, I met a lot of people off Twitter that I still consider good friends to this day. But man, during the pandemic, everyone was just kind of cooped up, going crazy, and we had nothing to do but fire group tickets together and play poker and have fun.
Yeah.
And so I met a lot of good people through all that.
Yeah, I'm right with you. Good stuff.
Do what?
Have you two met in real life?
No, not yet. He's all the way up there in the Pacific Northwest. I don't.
Yeah, right.
It's sad because I just don't get out west much anymore. I mean, we used to have horses in California, but we kind of, we pulled them out, and really the only time I get out, and I love it. I mean, look, my dad grew up in Tacoma. I mean, I went, up there all the time as a kid. It's just, it's different now, and it's it's harder for me to get away. Really the only time I get out there is Breeders' Cups. I mean, out west. No. I know that's still far away, but
Yeah, it's the truth. There's for horseman wise, there's not a lot for you here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel you on that. But I'm working my way east. I'll come to the horseman. I was talking Texas CJ where to hook up for sure. And link up. I'm gonna get out more. Gotta get out of my little West Coast swing.
Yeah. No, I know, man. Look, I went to Emerald Downs many a times. Like I know someday we'll run a horse in that Long Acres mile, because I think my dad went to that when it was at Long Acres, when he was young.
Yeah, been to Long Acres. And then kind of on that note, kind of how'd you get going into it? I know your pops was involved, and did you want to jump right into it, or did you have other plans? What's your little story on getting into horse racing, CJ?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up at the track. I was born in Shreveport. He worked at Louisiana Downs, just nice little gig at the track, and then kind of bounced around from there. But like I said, he grew up in Tacoma, and his dad took him to Long Acres, and he can tell you, man, the first horse he ever bet on that he won, you know what I'm saying? And so then he went to college at Arizona State and didn't know how to get he wanted to work in the industry, but didn't know how. And so, he showed up at a trainer's barn one morning and said, I want to work for free just to learn it, and they put him to work as a groom. And so, that eventually got him a job at Turf Paradise. Then he went to Arlington for a little bit, and him and my mom bounced around struggling, just kind of trying to find a way to raise a family. And so then, he worked his way up and got lucky. But man, I really started out betting. I mean, obviously growing up around the track, but he's always been a big handicapper too. And so he taught me how to bet. And at first, out of high school, I thought that's what I wanted to do. And I went to Arizona, went to the racetrack industry program, but I was a young 18-year-old kid who, I was kind of burnt out on it, to be honest with you. And so I changed majors. I turned into a history major. I transferred, and I was like, I'm done with it. I'm going to do my own thing. And then it kind of sucked me back in, to be honest with you. And I really thought I could get away. Yeah. And it sucked me right back in. And so then I started working at Kentucky Downs, and then when that, in the middle of the Kentucky Downs thing was when we started kind of getting serious with our horses. And we always had like a mare here, or, we'd go buy a filly and then run her and sell her, whatever. There was we always had a couple in training here and there. So that's where I learned a lot of that. We had good success with buying fillies and then getting them stakes placed and selling them for a decent amount. And so we kind of took that plan and got a bunch of friends together that love the game, but they don't know much about it. And, that started, the big purchases, I guess you could say. I mean, big on our end. It's not, we're not spending $500,000 on a horse, but still, for us, I mean, like I remember one of the first ones, we bought her for like $12,500, and she won a stakes in California, and we sold her for like $200. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so that's and like I bred a little Colonel John colt, and he RNA'd at Keeneland, and we ran him. He won a stakes in California, and we sold him for $300. And so those little ones kind of got us the chance to build up, some credibility with our partners, and then also, I mean, bankroll. It's like we throw our own money into these. We're not just like taking everyone else's money and then playing with it. Like we've got 10 to 20% of every deal we do. So we have our own skin in the game too.
Yeah, people like that.
What type of horses are you looking for when you go to a sale? You were just at the Keeneland sale this September. Are you looking for something specific? Are you looking for a specific type of horse?
Yeah, so it's kind of changed a little bit. Like at first, we wanted to play it safe with our partners and say, look, we're going to buy fillies only, and that way, if they don't turn out, we can at least sell them as brood mares, right? You can always, I mean, say you spend $100,000 on a filly and she's got some kind of pedigree, you can at least sell her for something. You know what I'm saying? And so that way, it's just not a total loss. And so, that was that. So they had to have some pedigree, and obviously they had to have the looks. Now, sometimes it kind of depends. In the past, we would kind of walk around with our trainers and kind of, they all have a certain type. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of know now, all right, Wesley Ward doesn't like this kind of horse, but Mike Stidham might. You know what I'm saying? Or like I can go through be down like this is a Wesley horse and that kind of stuff. So like Wesley likes kind of those rocket ships, more downhill. They just look fast right off the bat. Now, over the last couple of years, we started buying colts more as well because we had some partners come say, look, we understand the financial part of it. Like we want to get some nice colts. And so the way the sales game's going now, you have to partner up on these big dirt classic type colts. And so, your question was, do you look for a certain type? So we did look for turf colts only that because the money here is so good for turf racing, no one at the sales is buying one. You know what I'm saying? They're not they're not looking for stalls to buy. Like Chad Brown's going over there. He's not and so we've known Pletcher trained for us back in like the mid 2000s. He had a horse for us, and so we've known him for a long time. He's also from Dallas. And my old man saw him a couple months ago and said, hey, I know you have a ton of great dirt horses, but like, do you want some turf horses? And he's like, yes, I would love it. You know what I'm saying? No one sends me turf horses. And so we teamed up with him and bought two for him, a Kitten's Joy and then a Justify out of an all turf mare to give to him. So, I mean, the Justify is out of a Galileo mare. So, that's kind of all grass.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like we do, it's coming up with that plan and then kind of determining, what we're going for. And you got to know the body types. I mean, sometimes you don't know, and the horse could just look, it could go either way. And then other times it's way more obvious. Like this is a turf horse, like, and you see that especially not so much here, but in Europe. Like you go to a European yearling sale, and those horses look so much different than ours. They're more balanced, kind of sleek, lean. Their hind end's a little different. They don't have that engine. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Here it's just big dirt bulkiness for the most part. So I mean, but also you have to be flexible when you're at the sales. You might say, this is what we're going for, but it might not always work out that way. And so you kind of got to be a little flexible and be able to change up on the fly.
Yeah. And do you guys have I see, and you're kind of going up every year. And according to EcoBase 2019, that's your first year on EcoBase. Each year, you're definitely going up. This year, it looks like you're on pace to have more purse money than last year. Do you have a certain number of horses you're looking to get at, or do you want to just go as big as you can? Or are you kind of happy with kind of the where you're at right now with the number of horses you guys have?
Yeah, I think we probably got a little big for a little bit, and maybe had too many horses, and there's also a fine line between cutting the dead weight quick.
Yeah.
Look,
it's a hard game.
I've seen it, man. Like, these horses, they don't run well, and you're like, man, this thing's not going to be any good. And then someone else gets the horse, and it just took some time, right?
Yeah, we've seen it in the form
exactly.
all the time. Yeah.
I mean, look at the Derby winner. He was giving up on it. I mean,
it was totally giving up.
Anyone thought he could win the Derby, he wouldn't have run for maiden claimer. But like, but you've got to be conscious of burning expenses add up, man. I mean,
that's for sure.
Cheap. And so, yeah, we probably were a little too patient at first, and probably had too many. And this year I'm not as happy with the way it's been going. We've had a lot of bad luck, and we bought a Warfront a couple years ago for $325,000. She was gorgeous, and she just had awful luck, like a splinter getting infected. You know what I'm saying? Just
it's the random stuff.
And it's you just have to sit there and say, look, I think we're doing a good job. It's just been unlucky. Like, this luck has got to change, because you'll go months without winning a race, and then you'll rip off 3 in a row.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the least confident I've been all year, not all year, but like that horse I won a Gulfstream at 16-1 last month. Like, everyone's like, dude, are you serious? I'm like, man, she hadn't showed anything in the morning.
I remember that.
That was probably one of the first horses we've debuted in a maiden claimer, to be honest with you. Like, we have high hopes for every horse, but this one, it was like she just woke up kind of in the mornings, the last few workouts. Her last one was okay, but then of course you got a Mark Cassie, like, what was that horse? Like a $300,000, really expensive purchase that was running second, thirds, and maiden specials. And it's like, this horse is just too tough, and then just like that, it happens. And you're like, well, okay, maybe and we didn't pay that. We paid like $50 for her.
And then you get those ones that kind of offset the other ones a little bit.
Yeah. And so, now, I mean, now with her, we think she might be all right. I'm not saying she's going to be a world beater, but, the light bulb turned on with her, and she could have been claimed out of there. Again, I'm not saying she's going to be a stakes horse, but she's going to be a useful horse. For
yeah.
It's tough, man. Yeah, but we like to, it's hard to win 20%. Honestly, I haven't even looked at our number this year. I don't think it's even close. But like last year, I think we won 19 or something like that, and we were in the money about 50%. Yeah. So at least we're spotting them right. It's just kind of like, and the joke is like, dude, key our horses in third, because we always freaking run third. You know what I'm saying? So at least we know we're spotting them in the right spot. We just need a little bit of racing luck, right?
Yeah, and you're still young in the game. I feel like only 3 years equal based on the people we've had on. I've had people on here from 2009, 8. I'm saying they had similar stuff, and then boom, like you said, it just clicks. Stuff triggers. You get the luck changes, and as we know, luck is 100% a part of horse racing. Even if you have the best, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I can't even. I mean, after being in this game, doing this, it's been. I don't understand how these horses can win the Derby. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everything has to go right to win those big races. I mean, the best horse we ever had, Sally's Curlin, we ran her in the Breeders' Cup, but that was the pandemic year, and it was like we finally get a big horse. And the pandemic, like, we had a whole campaign mapped out for that year, and all of a sudden everyone's canceling races. You know what I'm saying? So we had to redo basically, everything on the fly, and and then they quit letting us run with Lasix and graded stakes races, and that hurt her. Even though she's not a bleeder, she just runs better on it. So that hurt us, and it's like, you're always trying to get. I mean, that was our first year doing these partnerships too. We bought 5 horses that year and got hurt. Ran her in the Breeders' Cup. I mean, and so then you're like, oh, this game's easy, right? No, it doesn't work like that at all. It's just so I don't know.
The right ideas though.
Yeah. And I mean, this year, we changed it up a little bit. We hired Marette Farrell to help us out. She's a a bloodstock agent. Like she bought Corniche last year. She's bought a bunch of Breeders' Cup winners, and so she really helped us out finding these fillies. So I think we've got a good group of fillies this year.
Nice.
Speaking of, racing and different changes and stuff this year, I mean, Texas, your home state, isn't at Sporting Signal. There's some stuff going on. Do you have any thoughts about racing and the future of racing in Texas?
Yeah. So we finally got to the point, and back when I grew up here, Lone Star was like the best racing in the Midwest. We had the Breeders' Cup. We had graded stakes all the time in the summertime. It was really good, and then it kind of went downhill. And there's a bunch of different reasons for that. But so just recently our purse money got good enough to where, like, say we've got a filly in Kentucky and she's got a nice pedigree. We don't want to drop her into a maiden claimer because she might be worth more than what level she can run at, if that makes sense. We can bring her here versus less competition, break her maiden, make her a useful horse, like pay the bills basically, and then sell her in a breeding stock sale. And so we do that quite often. If they're just, because I got trainers here who aren't $110 a day, and they're still very good trainers. But so we've kind of, used Texas as our, our AAA affiliate. You know what I'm saying?
That's for sure. That's so
it hurts right now, or towards the end of Lone Star. Now, luckily, we're not running any thoroughbreds, so as of right now, it's not. It doesn't matter, but they need to get it figured out before Sam Houston, because if Sam Houston doesn't export, we're in deep trouble. And I have not had a chance to read it yet, but I did get an email today about they filed. Hang on, sorry.
No, we love it. Breaking news.
Introduces legislation to delay HISA implementation until January 1, 2024. So look, man, HISA is a good thing for racing. Now, everything that they're implementing and the way they're going about it isn't the best.
It's quick. Like being aggressive.
Let me give you a quick one real quick. So in Kentucky, they decided, so we had a filly, 4-year-old filly. She had a lot of issues. We finally get her to the races. We're going to enter her. I think it was a Sunday. And we're going to enter her on Sunday for like a race on Thursday or whatever at Ellis. Well, they decided that HISA is going to be implementing this today, starting today, where if you're 4 and have not made a start, you have to work in front of a vet to pass it, right? Which in theory makes sense. I get it. Okay. Like they don't want a lame 4-year-old, breaking down right in her first start. Yeah. I totally understand it, but they didn't communicate it with anyone.
Nice heads up on that.
Yeah. She worked that Sunday morning and then they went to enter and they denied our entry because they said, oh, we're implementing this rule starting today. Well, a trainer said, no one told me this. I worked her this morning. I could have called a vet and said, hey, come on over here. We'll get this. So her next workout, she gets hurt and she's done. We got to sell her now. Yeah. It's just, that's the kind of bad luck I'm talking about. But you know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff that needs to be addressed. Again, I agree with the overall thought of what HISA is going to do, but because look, we need this stuff cleaned up. Really, and
I totally agree with you. Agree on both sides. Like we both have the same attitudes, but like there needs to be a little window throwing stuff at. There's so much money involved, and it's like you said, it's so difficult. I talk to doing the show more, talking to the owners and trainers. It's so hard to win. And you get that spot, and you finally are there. I'm saying at least have a little window for everyone involved that we all want to change and make it better, but give a little gap, and that's all. I think with fairness would be nice.
Yeah, and again, it's good intentions, but it's just not being implemented right, and the communication needs to improve. But so hopefully, because basically what happened here was just the head of the racing commission went to her superiors in Austin. Said, look, the federal government's coming in and they're going to, start, this HISA thing. And, typical Texas said, federal government treading on us, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't know exactly what it was all about. And there was some miscommunication. But I know that there are steps being taken to get sorted out here in Texas. I mean, like I said, if it doesn't, it's not going to be good because Texas is decent racing. It's not what it used to be, but it's still,
And there's money in Texas. There's plenty of. I've been open to office in Arlington. I love the metro. I love all that area. I mean, let's get it back. You know what I mean?
I know. And Lone Star's right there in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth. They still get a good on track crowd. So I know it can come back. But yeah, I'm optimistic. I know a lot of people that have written articles saying, "Oh, racing's dead in Texas." It's not yet. It's not yet.
No. Let's get it back.
It's optimistic words from you. We're just going to wrap things up this interview, but before we do, we met in Saratoga this summer. It was right before the Whitney, and you played in a charity basketball tournament.
Yeah, that wasn't one of the highlights of my Saratoga trip.
It was great to watch.
Me and CJ 2-on-2 would be trouble though.
Yeah, we would.
Watching, and we had a little surprise for you, courtesy of Alex Sang.
I found that guy on that one, actually.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, he got me. He pump faked me, and I went up, and he went into me. I'll admit it. But I did block. I think it was I might have another one, but I blocked another one in the first half. That is a.
I mean, Rennie and I just want to know, isn't the defender supposed to be in between the basket and the ball? And
he did the up and under on him, though. He did the old up and under.
They are so fast. I think it was like a fast break or something. Or in the other part, we were playing a zone, and I'm standing under the basket. If I was playing man to man, trust me, I would have been in between them. But I think I came over from the weak side, and he just went right around me and pump faked me and got me. I will admit that one, he got me.
I would have blown 2 hammies out. I can't even remove.
I was going to say, I made sure he did not hit the basket, though.
Good, If you're a foul,
yeah, the zone was a terrible idea. I'm going to blame my coach, Pletcher. He had no coaching whatsoever. He just let us do whatever.
Roll the ball out.
I think I finished with 2 points, a steal. Oh, yeah, Manny Franco's head went into my knee on that steal. Yeah, I thought I killed Manny Franco. I was like, this is going to be good. And then I think I had 2 points, but I didn't play a whole lot. But yeah, that was an embarrassing game. I mean, those guys can play.
It was a good cause, though, and those guys are in shape.
Yeah. Oh, unbelievable shape. I mean, Carmouche saw me out, we were shaking hands. And he was like, "I seen you out there. You hustling, man." Because I'm I'm chasing him around, sweating. I was also 6 ciders deep from the track, so I'm sure I smelled like booze.
Right.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Well, good stuff. Hey, we appreciate you coming by, CJ.
Yeah,
great interview again. And man, let's have some better luck coming this year. I know. Let's get CJ Thoroughbreds rolling. Good year finish up here.
It's being removed, I promise. Oh, there it is.
And we are back. Hey, what a great interview. Thanks, CJ, for coming by. That was some good stuff. He's so fun.
He definitely is. And overall, he's just a genuinely good person who cares, like you said, for the sport. And he's a great friend. So
good
all
stuff.
around great person.
Yep. Thanks for coming on. And let's get that turned around there, like you said, get the better luck for CJ's Thoroughbreds. And here we go. Let's hop into the horse of the week. Here we go. Got a special dad here.
Yes, we do. This was submitted by Calvin Sanders, and he got to meet Not This Time. And Not This Time, you may know on the track, but you also may know as Epicenter, Sire. Who else is Sire? Simplification.
Simplification and a different a female a mare that was winning this year. But yeah, definitely, obviously a winning. Talk about a winning sire. There you go. Gonna probably have some other ones coming out. Watch out for the next 2 years. Huh? I mean, Epicenter. It's borderline the best 3-year-old. It's already, he definitely made his case. That's for sure.
Definitely did in that Travers victory. But
yeah,
thank you, Calvin, for submitting that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Let's go into this. Here is the play of the day. Last week's got scratched, so the streak is still alive. Let's go for it. 3 in a row. We know we're at Gulfstream. Friday, race 6, the 1. Going Island Magic here. Let's get it home, man. And should sit right off the pace. Make 1 run coming home. It's a 5 furlong sprint here. And let's get this home. I'm thinking about 3, actually right around this number, 3.5, 4 to 1 for the odds. And let's get this streak going. And there's the play of the day, race 6, the 1, Island Magic. Let's get them home. All right, let's get that streak going to Mary and I's horse. Both on that Wicked Halo. Hey, it's undefeated when we're both on it. So check that out, the Keeneland Stakes race. Thanks again, everyone, for coming by, stepping in with the Smoke Mare show. We love doing it. And safe trips for everyone. And have a good weekend. Smoke.
Thank you.